We reached out to Faith's ex-boyfriend, Alex Demery, and Karina's ex-boyfriend, Brandon Edwards, and both declined to speak to us. But one name we keep going back to is Eric Tacoy Jones.
We don't know if he was at the Thrill nightclub that night, but what we do know is that it would have been easy for him to murder Faith, considering he lived in the same apartment complex where she was killed.
If the last known address for Eric Tacoy Jones is correct, his house is right around here.
Well, he's somebody we definitely got to try and talk to, because that restraining order says he kicked his way into the same bedroom where 2 months later Faith is found murdered.
I think we're getting close. It's definitely the house. That's the address.
Well, last known address, anyway.
Well, what do you think? We go up and take a knock?
Absolutely. No lights except in the back.
We got a mailbox right here. This is definitely the address, but it's a different name, no Jones. That doesn't, all right, that doesn't look like it's a good address. Eric Tacoy Jones is turning out to be harder to find than I think we both thought.
Guess he's a bit of a needle in a haystack.
Coming up.
We have a very hostile, moody, unstable, jealous, vindictive personality.
And later.
My roommate said that he might have seen a speck of red on her clothes.
Really? Do you say it could have been blood?
When I got there, there was police cars, the lights were all going.
That makes you wonder.
He was ruled out for lack of motive to commit the act.
Her name came up quite a bit.
Ended up locating 2 bodies.
At some point, they realized that that is not the weapon that was used.
Cold, calculated, pure evil.
Brand new Dead Reckoning starts Tuesday the 1st of September on Investigation Discovery.
Faith Hedgepeth was found brutally beaten and murdered. One of the potential persons of interest we've been trying to get hold of, Eric Tacoy Jones, is someone we just can't pin down. But it's clear that whoever was responsible for her death was trying to communicate something at the crime scene, and we know this because there was a handwritten note left near Faith's body.
I don't know about you, but this note leaves me with a lot of unanswered questions.
I got a guy, Tony Iantasca. He's a handwriting analyst. Let's call him up. He's agreed to take our call. So
Perfect.
Let's dial him up.
Perfect.
Hi, this is Anthony.
Hey, Tony, what's going on? You got Derek and Chris on the phone.
Hey, Tony.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Tony, you had a chance to analyze the note. Tell us what you think.
Now, the first thing I noticed in this sample of handwriting is that there was extreme moodiness. Look at the document. You see how the document is going from, the handwriting is going from right to left, straight up and down. That's moodiness and instability. And in profiling, what that is telling me that the person's moods are going from emotional expression to emotional suppression. So they're expressing emotions, they're suppressing emotions.
So they're like a roller coaster.
Basically, the second thing I saw was the intensity level. That's the thickness of the writing stroke on the paper. Now you look at some of the letter formations, like in the word B-I-T-C-H, in the J on jealousy. You see how firm it is? Then you look at some of the other handwriting and you see it's very light. It's almost like you can't even see it. That's instability. We have a very hostile, moody, unstable, jealous, vindictive personality whose willpower is also very strong here, and that's something that I pay very close attention to. This person has the willpower to accomplish whatever goal or task that they want to succeed in. I think this was written beforehand. There's no way to prove that because, you know, based on what I understand of the crime scene, it was a pretty bloody mess.
Let's say that the killer did write the note afterwards, but did it after they'd showered up at the place, which is why there's not any blood on there, nor any blood leading out of the place, nor anybody seen with blood leaving.
If that's the case, then these are people that were comfortable in the apartment. Unknown suspect is not going to hang around and take a shower. They're going to get the hell out of there as fast as possible.
Tony, one final thing about this note.
Yes.
Male or female, what is this more in line with?
This, to me, this language is more in line with a female.
Why is that?
Males don't do this. Words like bitch and jealous. That to me is more female. It's more personal. This is not something that a male does.
Listen, I respect Tony, but I'm not sure I'm ready to rule out a male suspect yet. We've learned that Faith had a few men around her that were jealous and known to have a temper. But what really strikes me about this note is that it didn't have a single drop of blood on it.
Whoever wrote that note felt comfortable enough to commit a homicide, then go write a note before leaving. And the only person to me that would do that is someone who knew nobody else was coming back to that apartment. That's it.
In addition to the note left near her body, there was a bloody rum bottle found as well. Could this be the weapon that killed Faith? I have my doubts. I find it hard to believe that this bottle would be strong enough to kill her without breaking.
Yeah, this is it, right? 5801.
So we've enlisted the help of a forensic engineering lab to determine if a simple rum bottle could be turned into a deadly weapon.
Come on in, guys. Thank you, sir. After you.
Thank you.
And for the purposes of this experiment, we're using the exact same brand and bottle size as the one found at the crime scene.
So we've mounted a 3-axis accelerometer to the head of our dummy. That way we can record the accelerations that this body's being subjected to when we strike it with the bottle.
Based on the autopsy report, there was a crack at the front of Faith's skull, but the lethal blow was at the back of the head.
Now from the front. Forehead.
Just seeing the intensity of this simulation really brings home the fact that the attack on Faith was very vicious, regardless of what's revealed in this test.
How about in the area where we believe the fatal blow to Faith occurred? How much pressure would it take to fracture that portion of the skull?
That portion of the skull comes in something on the order of 500 pounds.
So based on the testing that we've just done, we were well beyond that.
If you can get that bottle moving to around 16 miles per hour, you can get that level of energy to crack the skull. When I would strike it in what I considered to be a light hit, I was on the order of 20 to 24 miles per hour.
So basically, that first blow that you struck this dummy at, half of that could actually cause the skull to fracture.
That's correct.
No doubt about it.
And a man or a woman could be capable of using a bottle in this manner.
True.
That's correct.
Wow.
We now know that the bottle can generate enough force to have caused Faith's injuries. The question is, will the bottle shatter under that level of force?
So this machine is what we call a tensile machine. So it can actually crush things by squeezing them. What we intend to do, we'll clamp it down and use the machine to increase the force until the bottle actually breaks.
What number do we have to get to prove that we could inflict the type of damage that we saw in the first experiment without shattering the bottle?
500 pounds. And that's where we've set the red indicator at 500 pounds.
Get past that 500 without it breaking, that bottle could have done all the damage to Faith.
Exactly.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm ready.
450.
Here we go. This is the moment of truth. We're almost at 500. I can see it. We're well past 500 now. We're flying past it. I see no signs of stress on the bottle. The numbers are the numbers. The data is the data.
So what this demonstrates, this bottle could be the only murder weapon needed for those wounds that were fatal to Faith Hedgepeth.
We've been questioning whether there are certain parts of this crime scene that may have been staged as a misdirect by the killer. For example, making it look like a sexual assault took place. But I was wrong about this piece of evidence. This bottle very well could have been used to inflict Faith's lethal injuries, and just about anyone of any strength could do it. And what's more, this weapon came from the crime scene. Faith Hedgepeth was found dead in her roommate Karina Rosario's apartment by Karina and their friend Marisol. We haven't been able to get a hold of Karina, and it's looking like the only way we'll hear her voice is from the 911 call she placed on the morning of the murder. Mark McClish was in the Secret Service and is an expert in statement analysis. I'm hoping his professional evaluation of the call will shed some light for us.
What are your thoughts about what you heard?
Well, there were a few areas of concern within the 911 call. Well, the very first thing when the operator answers the phone and says, where's your emergency, Mr. Rosario says, hi.
911, where is your emergency?
I just walked into my apartment and my friend just like being unconscious.
We would not expect a 911 caller to be so polite. Usually they're very immediate. There's most cases in 911 calls, if there's an emergency going on, they would ask for help for the victim. And then the next thing she said was which is an interjection. She's pausing. It's give her time to think about what to say.
What else did you notice as you listened through this 911 call?
There was, I think it was 3 times she told the operator, I don't know what happened.
There's blood everywhere.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay, is she on her back or is she on her, laying on her stomach?
She's on her back, but like, I think she fell off the bed because she's like off the bed. There's blood all over the pillows, like in the comforter. I just don't know what happened.
Yeah, that may be a truthful statement, but the repetition of telling the operator, again, just draws some suspicion there. I mean, is she trying to convince the operator she didn't know what happened? Is this part of her just being somewhat traumatized by what she saw?
But I also counted 3 separate occasions where she said, someone must have been in this apartment.
Okay, listen to
someone that came in here.
Okay, okay.
It really does.
All right, what did you say your name was again?
Here.
Okay, tell me again what your name is.
It looks like someone has been in there because she's not like the cell. I don't know.
Okay, okay. I've let them know. We've got everybody on the way to help you.
I just can't believe this. Someone had to have been in there.
Okay.
I mean, everything a person says has a meaning, and then, of course, the more they say it, they're adding more emphasis to it, and so that would be another area of concern.
How confident are you that there was at least some level of deception in what she was saying?
The way she starts off the call, being very polite, not asking for specific help from the operator, the pauses, consistently saying, I don't know what happened, are all indications that perhaps, she is withholding some information. Lying by omission is the most common form of lying, and that's what we find in a lot of statements where people may give a truthful statement, but they withhold a lot of information from the operator.
It's difficult to tell if what we're hearing in this call is Karina's state of shock, her processing that her best friend was dead. Or did she already know that Faith was dead and wanted to make it look like she had stumbled upon the crime scene? One way to find out is by getting her side of the story.
Man, it's not looking good for us getting to talk to Karina. I mean, we've reached out to her directly. We've contacted her family, no response whatsoever. Either she's over this and she just wants to move on with her life, or she doesn't want to say something that's going to get her in trouble. She on a lot of things.
I want to find out what she was thinking when she made that 911 call.
It's not looking good.
No.
Without getting Karina's side of the story, we have to come to our own conclusions. We were able to track down one more person that might be able to answer some of the questions we have about her alibi.
You remember how Karina said she was picked up by a guy about 4:25, 4:30 in the morning, spent the night there until she came back?
Right.
This is that guy's roommate. And he doesn't want to go on camera. He doesn't want to do an interview. Doesn't want his name used. But he is willing to text.
Okay, that's good enough for me.
So the first question that I'm texting him, he said he'd answer a couple questions, is, can you confirm that your roommate told you he brought Karina Rosario to your apartment approximately 5 a.m. September 7th, 2012? You good with that question?
Absolutely.
Dude, he's writing.
All right.
He's writing. Here comes. Ready?
Yeah.
I don't remember him telling me a specific time. So
okay.
That means
he did pick her up.
After I finished up the nightly numbers and closed up, I typically wouldn't get home until 3:34.
All right, so he was working somewhere.
I don't remember anyone being awake, but usually people have their doors closed anyways at that point.
Well, now that we know that she did in fact get picked up by this guy around 4:30, did his roommate ever say anything to him about Karina after they found out about Faith's murder? Did Karina have anything about her demeanor that was off? Was there anything he noticed about her that was suspicious? See what he says.
He's typing. I don't remember him saying anything about her behavior. The first time we really knew anything about it is when the roommate texted my roommate when we were on campus for class. After we got home, we were talking about everything that had apparently happened. My roommate said that he might have seen a speck of red on her clothes.
Really? Red speck. I mean, do you say it could have been blood?
Let me ask.
I'm interested to see if he even answers that question.
He's responding. Kind of an odd response. He's saying he never said, quote, I think that she might be involved or anything like that, but it did make us think, you know, if it was blood, then she was definitely there.
So they thought there was a possibility it could have been
That's
blood.
what that tells me. So let me ask another one. Here's what I'm
What
thinking.
are you thinking? Yeah.
Do you know if your roommate told that to the police about the speck of red?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's huge, yeah.
Here we go.
Whatever he saw to the police was enough for them to say, hey, we want to come search her apartment.
Oh, that's interesting.
We reached out to the Chapel Hill police to see if they could back up this story. They confirmed that they picked up Karina's shirt and that they tested it, but the test wasn't indicative of her committing the crime. They didn't say that the red spot wasn't blood, which is very interesting.
I gotta tell you, Chris, why do I get the feeling that Karina's at the center of this whole mystery?
Coming up.
Eric Takoy Jones.
My thoughts exactly.
Said he was going to kill Faith because she's the one that helped Karina get a restraining order against him because he was abusive with her.
And later.
It's troubling to me what happened between the time they got home at 2:30 to the time Karina left at 4:30.
In small towns, specifically in the South, people grow up there and don't leave.
There are 3 people missing from your town.
What is going on? This is not natural.
He never gave us his name. He said, they call me Animal.
Brand new Southern Gothic, Monday on Investigation Discovery.
Hi, Tara. It's me, Laura, Sunflower 82 from Online Yoga. Yes, I'd love to get together for a class with you. Thanks for all the recommendations. But hey, instead, why don't we do a class at my place? Wine after, obviously. Or
Is that too weird?